Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Corinne, and I just wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about what's going on right now in the world, what's going on in our bodies energetically. I've been on this path here for a few years, and what I've noticed is that things are really rapidly shifting right now. We're coming into a place where we've either been doing the work or we're waking up to something's happening. We're not really sure. There's like this deep knowing of something's happening. It could rise up as anxiety. It can rise up in different sort of ways. But most of humanity is feeling something's coming in, something's shifting inside of them. And for those of you who've been following me for a while, you know that I'm definitely on a path of healing. So I've been healing for a long time. My past was alcohol addiction, and so sitting with that truth now that no longer is a part of me, I've transformed myself. I've brought in the light and I've shone it into all the shadow parts of myself, and that's allowed me to cleanse, to clear, to let go, to drop those energies, those lower densities, those lower vibrations, and allows me to rise up, to come into a place of balance, into a place of love, unconditional love to others. My relationships have shifted. My family's really come into their own. They've mirrored my healing. And so for my kids, I see them just starting to really shine and to start really embody true happiness and joy. And, as we grow as children, we come into this world with joy and light and love, and then trauma happens due to programming, due to patterns, due to the density that we live in. We live in a really harsh environment. And so these beautiful beings of light that come from source, children, they become dense and they become more in tune to the matrix, in tune to consumerism, in tune to anger, and then they start hardening their hearts. And so as they become adults, we know what that looks like. We're walking trauma. We are walking energetic beings of low vibration because of all the past that we've been on, this path that we've been on for so long. And so as we're awakening up, these energies are being sent from the sun. The energies are from Mother Nature. She is the soul, right? Earth is a soul, Mother Gaia. And so her heartbeat is quickening. If you follow the Schumann resonance, you can see there's often spikes. And when we feel these spikes, everybody all of a sudden their consciousness lifts. We rise with her and we feel the energies around us, and we're just all of a sudden in this joy and this feeling of unconditional love, and the truth starts coming in. And so we've been feeling these influxes off and on for the past 5 to 10 years, depending on where you are on your journey. And so for some people, they've been awake a lot longer. I was awake as well, but in a different way. I was awake to the truth, but I didn't heal my heart. My heart was still unhealed. And so it came through anger. And I was one of those freedom fighter conspiracy theorists for many years, until I realized that anger was not me anymore. And I didn't want to hold on to that. And so to be honest, with everything, it was yoga that kind of shifted, but it was also the right time. I think it was me remembering a past life maybe where I was a yogi, and so things started flooding in. I started remembering who I truly am. And so on this path right now that we're kind of in the crux of what's happening, of the shift, right? The awakening. We're the part where if you've been doing your inner work, if you've been doing your healing, you're feeling a sense of calm, you're feeling a sense of peace, maybe you're feeling grounded. If you haven't been doing the work, that comes through in a sort of chaotic way, and we're feeling anxiety, you feel stress, you feel untethered, you feel out of control. And so those will manifest in different ways, maybe through addiction, or maybe it'll come through as a loss of a job or loss of a partnership, or tower moments, right, in our lives where all of a sudden things get pulled out from under us and things become really hard, and we wonder and we question and we start wondering what the truth is. And so people are awakening to their hardships at this moment, and they're awakening through the environment. Mother Gaia is shifting, she's changing. and she's evolving and she's growing, and it's like you're cleaning up the house. You know, when you clean up the house and you're lifting the couch, you're doing the deep clean and you're vacuuming, and that's creating chaos if you're low to the ground, if you're in low vibration, right? You're being sucked in, you're being pulled around, the energies, the dust, the storms, everything's chaotic. But if you've done the work, you rise above and you're above and you can see the back and you're just like, oh, they're just deep cleaning, you'll be fine, right? And so that's what's happening on earth. It's God, not the man in the clouds as we've been taught, but God, the energy, is coming through with love. It's unconditional love, but it's coming through and it's clipping the garden of the weeds, and it's taking out what is no longer serving us, and it's resetting and rebalancing, filled with love. So when we surrender to that energy of love, and we know that we're protected, because anyone who's aware, anyone who's awake, anyone who can feel their heart or knows that something's shifting and is just needing guidance, you're on the right path. So there's no fear here. When you see past the illusions, there's a beautiful kind of feeling of freedom when you realize that all that is outside of us is an illusion. And so we can rise into a place that is above the turmoil. And I know that sounds very woo-woo and like kind of, you know, oh, look at, you can just, you know, fake it till you make it, but I know what it feels like to not love yourself. So that's the thing. I've come from a place where I didn't love myself for a very long time. I was an alcoholic, active addiction for almost 10 years. And it took me, my sobriety date will be 2 years in June 21st of this month. And so for the last 2 years of me doing all this inner work, self-guided inner work, I didn't follow a program. I didn't follow any steps. I just started learning through yoga how to go within. And now that I'm healed and now that I've let go of that past, but I've embodied and I've thrown compassion at her and I've thrown forgiveness, I've started to let go of all those lower vibrational emotions. And so now when I'm in my base level, I don't have any of that anxiety or like, you know, when you can't sit with yourself, you're feeling, your thoughts are overtaking you, you feel all those emotions. Well, that's from, I've released those from doing the inner work. So now I can sit with myself and I love myself and I'm at peace with myself. And as I make my decisions throughout the day, I keep checking in with myself. Am I in tune with myself? Am I in alignment, or have I gone off the path? And that's really all it is, because we've been taught not to love ourselves. We've been taught to create busyness and not to sit with stillness. But guess what? The answers are in the stillness, right? Once we've healed, once we've removed the baggage and we feel into the stillness, that's who we truly are. And it's only through that do we know who we truly are. And then once we decide and we forgive and we let go and we decide to rise, then there's this new path that opens. And we're at that place right now where as a collective, all of us combined are starting to heal. The divine feminine, she's rising. Next is the masculine who's being healed. And we're stripping away all this baggage, all this trauma, all this noise. As a collective, we're all doing this together, guys. We're rising together. And so you're not on this path alone. And as we're connecting and as we're feeling each other's frequencies, we're lifting everybody up. And so it's really that simple. What we're doing is we're just anchoring down the love from heaven. So as we meditate, we're pulling these energies down our bodies, our energetic bodies, and we're anchoring down through the feet as we ground ourselves. And we begin to come into gratitude. So we feel into the heart. And what are we grateful for? And I remember the days where I was grateful for nothing. And so I would turn that off. I wasn't even in gratitude. I was always in despair and anger and disappointment. And so when we anchor in this love, we're literally bringing heaven down to earth. And that's our job, is to love ourselves enough to allow this to happen, to remove the programming that has been placed by our parents, placed by teachers, placed by propaganda, by the news. And so as we turn off all this noise and we tune ourselves in like a radio station, we start to listen to that silence, and it has all the answers, that silence. And it has your own answers for yourself, because we're all different. We're all unique. And that's the beauty about understanding where we're going to a place where everybody has their own frequency, their own ability, their own language. There'll be no competition. There's no scarcity. It's all abundance, because you paint a picture, it has your frequency, and people are going to be attracted to that frequency. So there's enough abundance for you. And then the next person who paints is also going to have their own frequency, has their own attachment to that. So it's a beautifully balanced thing. And if we remember Mother Nature, if it's balanced, look at our bounty in nature. We have insects that take care of the big animals through eating the microbiomes, and you know, it has their symbiosis within each other. And so we're coming back to that within ourselves. We're balancing the masculine, the feminine within ourselves first, so that we can see that mirror reality and see the reflection back to us of balance and peace, because we have it all in our hearts. We are all aspects of Source. And if any of this resonates with you, if you're feeling called to follow me, just hit a like, subscribe. I've been called to speak, and it's starting to flow, and so I'm going to just start recording these videos. I am losing the part of myself that is super nervous and isn't sure how this will be received, but I'm just trusting that this is the time. This is the time to let out what needs to be heard. If it's resonating with you, that's wonderful. I'm also going to be putting out yoga videos that will be part of your journey, that will activate parts of yourself within you. So if that resonates with you as well, I'll start putting those out there. And then I'm also on a platform, which I'll put the link down below, called the Aurora Awakening Academy. And my lovely friend Rose Dupont, she's the one that started it, and so we are mentors on there. If you'd like to follow us there as well, I'll be putting on courses, and I also put on retreats. So we just finished a 3-night retreat here in Swansea Point, Mare Lake, BC. We had the most magical 3-day weekend where, you know, you turned on Facebook or you go on social media and it was yelling at you from the phone. You just turn it off and it was like back to peace. And it was just this amazing bubble of transformation. And people I saw put down their masks and evolve through their souls. These are women that have been doing their work, and now they were taking it to the next level and rising in within the divine sovereignty. So I see these wonderful, beautiful souls rising up and putting their hand up saying, yes, I hear the call, I hear the pull, I am drawn to you. Let's share and let's create together. And that's what my retreats are all about. We're all about awakening the sovereignty, the divine feminine, the divine masculine within you that is there, that is just waiting for the call, the touch, the spark. And we're here to guide you into this next level so that as a humanity, we can rise together. So if you're feeling called, reach out to me. I'm on Facebook and Instagram, and I'll link everything down below. Much love to all. Until next time.